So when you pull into the village of Warsaw, New York, they actually give directions. This is the route that I came in on. This is 20A, but this is like a side cutoff, a service road almost, for truckers and whatnot to get directions on how to pull into the town, because the village, because it's set in this steep little cut, this valley that we're about to enter. Hello everyone, it's Chris. We're entering the village of Warsaw, New York. We've been through Warsaw before. It's this cute little village on the way to Letchworth State Park, which is our destination. Letchworth State Park is the Grand Canyon of the East. I did a video on it. I've done a couple of videos on it in the past, but this is the first time in 2025. It is Memorial Day. I'm scheduling this for the Sunday after Memorial Day, but today is Memorial Day. So the thing about Warsaw is you come in through this, down this steep grade, and there are signs all over, flashing lights warning truckers to be careful, because as you can see, if you're coming down this and you have a problem, if you're losing your brakes or whatever, there's no pull-off. It's almost like you're going down a chute. And it leads right into the little village. Love these old homes. We actually want to go right, but I'm going to take a left because there's a cool war memorial in the village to the left, and we're going to check it out. So normally when I go on my adventures, whether it's day trips or whatever, I like to do it without crowds. So I usually go on weekdays and whatnot. Today is Memorial Day, so my guess is Letchworth is going to be jam-packed. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Isn't that a cool war memorial? Let me just go around it here. That's a Civil War memorial, I believe. The other thing I will say before we head to Letchworth is I've got a new view on the GoPro. So when I bought the GoPro in March of last year, I didn't know much about it. It was a learning experience, and I went through a couple of different iterations on the settings, and I finally, early on, found one that fit, that I liked and that other people liked. I've got viewers who, I think half of my viewers watch my videos on TVs, and some of them watch them on large screen TVs. When I watch YouTube videos, it's either on my phone or on my little 11-inch iPad. So anyway, this morning, for the first time in like a year, I changed the settings to from wide view to super view. So we're going to see what that looks like. Now let's head to the Grand Canyon of the East. Okay, we are in Letchworth State Park, the Grand Canyon of the East. Again, we've been here before, but it's been a while. And the last time we came from the north entrance. There are multiple entrances to this park. Today we came in through the south entrance. So this is the railroad trestle. We're going to get a couple of different views of this, and I hope we see a train. Now the last video I did from Letchworth for the channel, we did see a train, but we saw it from a distance. I'm hoping we get a better view. This is, I think, from the original trestle, this ironwork here, but the Genesee River is right there. Letchworth State Park is basically the gorge that the Genesee River cuts through. There's a path there that takes us down to where we're heading, but we're going to drive the Spyder down there and get a really neat view of what's called the Middle Falls, or actually it's the Upper Falls. So I thought the place would be packed. The lady at the front gate said it's just too early. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I guess I'm a morning person, so I like to get places early. Now, there's a heck of a story that we're going to tell when we drive by this area here about Letchworth's origins. But for now, we're going to check out the upper falls and hopefully get a train sighting going over that bridge. Now, I'm going to get a lot closer, but that's the bridge you can see there. I think you can see it. And from here is where we saw the train last time. And there are the upper falls that we're going to get right up close to, but I've got to get off the Spyder to take you there. So that was the upper falls, and now we're about to pass on our right the middle falls. Now, in my last video, I think I parked here and walked out there, but we really get a great view from the road. So I'm going to just continue on and stand up and let you see it from the road. And no one's behind me, so I can go slow. I hope you can. I'm gonna get up close here. Isn't that something? And there are pathways all over this place, so you can really come here, spend a day, and hike all over. This water is the mist from the falls, believe it or not. Isn't that incredible? See these pathways that traverse the whole park? So to truly appreciate Letchworth State Park, you've got to know something about the Glen Iris Inn, which is this structure here. So it's a restaurant today, and this stone structure here is a museum today. But this Glen Iris Inn, I'm going to pull in and turn around in here, was the home of William Letchworth, who was, you know, 100+ years ago, a very wealthy guy. I forgot where he made his money from, but this was his home, and this was his yard. Letchworth State Park was basically his yard. Now, it wasn't Letchworth State Park at the time, but that gorge that cuts through this entire park was his. And then he donated it to the state of New York to be used as a park. So that's a little museum now about his life and about the park in general. But can you imagine what it must have been like to live here and have that view is your view on a daily basis? Something else. So we saw the upper falls, and then we just saw the middle falls. We're not going to see the lower falls because you got to do some hiking to get there, and we're just not going to do that today. But there's more to see. The Genesee River, which creates this gorge that we're looking at here, is a great river that begins as just a trickle. I believe it's in Pennsylvania where it begins, in a farmer's field somewhere, and then it becomes this mighty river that cut through this gorge, you know, millennia ago, and flows all the way out to Lake Ontario at Rochester. So this road, which is Park Road, kind of winds its way it's like a 20-mile long park. This spot here is another spot where I've got to get off the Spyder for you to really appreciate it, but it's called Inspiration Point, appropriately so, and you'll see why shortly. I'm going to just park right here, and I'm going to pick it up on the iPhone. So we are now approaching Inspiration Point. So you can see what I mean about why they call it Inspiration Point. So this road, Park Road, basically parallels the gorge that the Genesee cut, you know, millions of years ago, whatever it was. And so it's a cool ride. Porsche 928, awesome. It's a cool ride because it's got the twisties and hit the little hills and whatnot. In fall, it's spectacular. And I believe the last video I shot was a fall foliage video here. This side of the gorge is civilized. When I say civilized, so there's a visitor center there. There are restrooms all over the place. If we wanted to see the lower falls, we'd have to drive down there and go for a little hike. We're not going to do that today. The other side of the gorge is primitive. You can hike it, but it's not like there are no trails that were cut or well designed and thought out. It's just very primitive. So, and there's no road that follows the gorge like this Park Road does. So there are multiple spots along this road where you can pull over and get a good view of the gorge. Oh, they've got a new sidewalk here. This is like brand new. So you can see how this gorge just kind of winds its way. It's very curvy throughout the whole route. And I'm just so glad that we have the place to ourselves, essentially. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something? Here's another one of those overlooks. I mean, isn't that a view? Look at that. It's something else. All right, we've got more ground to cover, so let's cover it. I will also point out I've got an appointment with my dealer, Bucks Motorsports, for this Friday. So I'm shooting this on Monday, Memorial Day. And I've got an appointment on Friday for them to do nothing but try to figure out the suspension fault issue. My guess is it's going to be a trial and error type of thing, because there's a few different possible reasons that would trigger that suspension fault code that I'm getting. And so I don't mind the fact that they can't just figure it out on the first glance at the Spyder and just fix it. I'm hoping they can do it this time, but even if they don't, it's not going to stop me from riding. And on that note, I've got a cool trip coming up. I mentioned it briefly in a previous video. I've been waiting for good weather for a stretch of, I need 3 days to do this trip. I don't want to tell you where it's to, although you've probably heard of it, until I actually do it, but it'll provide some great, awesome video once I get there. I'm absolutely going there, there's no doubt about it. The question is it going to be next week or the week after? And the long-term, this is called Wolf Creek right here. The long-term forecast right now is looking like next week's going to be a good week for me to, I'm going to just pull in here, for me to do this trip. You see what I mean about, oh, awesome, remote control car. See all the pretty trails and whatnot. That's cool. So anyway, I'm going to shoot a short video from the dealership, just kind of updating you as to what's going on this coming Friday. So you'll actually, this is where it gets weird. I just love these twisties on this road. You'll actually see that short video before, probably before you see this video. I'm shooting this on a Monday. I'm going to shoot the short video from the dealer. I've got to pull in here because this is going to give us good views. I've got to use the iPhone. I've got to get off the Spyder, but it's well worth it. So you're going to see this video on a Sunday, but the prior Friday, if you watch my short videos, you'll see a short from my dealership, but that's okay. I'm gonna walk over there with the iPhone and you'll be glad I did, believe me. So the northern entrance to this park, where we're headed now, is there's a town called Mount Morris, and there's a dam that helps control the Genesee River in Mount Morris. Now, I've stopped at this dam countless times, and I even stopped here for at least one of my previous videos from Letchworth State Park. But in all those times, I don't think I've ever seen the dam being utilized, meaning stopping up the water. And I'm not a betting man, I don't gamble, but if I had to bet, I would bet that there's going to be no water pooled up behind that dam. It just kind of flows right through. And my guess is it's only when there's heavy rains, heavy storms. I don't know anything about hydrology or much about that dam, if it's a hydroelectric dam or if it's simply for flood control. I just don't know. I should know, but I don't. But we're going to check it out here in a minute. And again, I'm betting, if I had to bet, that there's going to be no water behind it. Spyder. My first spider sighting today. I don't know if that's the park manager that lives there, if it's just an office. I wouldn't mind living there. Okay, here's the dam area here. And I'm not even gonna use the iPhone. I'm gonna just leave my helmet on because it's literally right on the other side of that rail. Front row seat. Okay, so you can see what I mean. It is dry. I mean, this is the Genesee River. Now, it must be underneath this brush that we can't see flowing because there's water flowing that way. And so the Genesee follows this route all the way to Rochester, pours into Lake Ontario. There's a cool giant waterfall in Rochester. I think it's right. I've never seen it up close and personal, but I think it's like right literally in the city. Little knick-knack shop there. So this is pretty much we're almost at the northern entrance of Letchworth State Park, but the video is not over yet. It's almost lunchtime, and there's a great little diner right near the north entrance of the park, and I'm gonna have lunch there. And then I'm gonna ride back through Warsaw, the village that we drove through where the video started, on my way back to Niagara Falls, and I'm gonna stop at a cool little ice cream place called Yummy's, appropriately called Yummy's. Let me know what you think about this view, which is called Super View from the GoPro, versus the past year of videos which were all shot in, I think that was called Wide View. I'll know what I think about it as I'm editing this video this evening, but I really want to know what you think about it, because you're the one that matters. If you have any other comments besides super view versus view, any comments would be greatly appreciated. Of course, I appreciate you watching my videos, whether you subscribe or not, but I really appreciate my subscribers who just took us past 3,000. Will we get to 4,000? I don't know. If you like this video, hit that like button. I sure would appreciate it. It does help the channel. I don't like to ask you to like, as you probably know by now. I don't ask you to like my videos until after you've watched them. And as I try to do with all of my videos at the beginning, but I don't think I did it for this video, and that is, I'd like to ask you to subscribe. I know so many of you who watch do not subscribe for whatever reason. That's okay, but if you would subscribe, I sure would appreciate it. And until the next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.